So we come to number 7, punching with angry gaze. Again, heard it called the charging fist, whatever. Again, the 18th form qigong sequence called the charging the fist, and this one it's called punching with angry gaze. Again, they're all very similar, etc. But again, here we go. So we're going to go in not the traditional way. Again, we're going down the yogic, Pilates and hypnotic path of the breath. Okay, now with this one, we're zipping up pelvic floor, scooping out your abdominals, taking the navels towards the spine. Okay, lovely. Now, with that, as you do that right now, you're going to breathe in through the nose and exhale through pursed lips for as long as you like. Just let it go. Okay, as you exhale through pursed lips, as if you're sort of blowing out a candle through pursed lips, and as you do that, you'll feel that breath coming into them lower lobes of lungs. If you want to be safe in the knowledge that's happening, then just get the 2 middle fingers touching underneath the breastbone, the xiphoid process where it dips there, the palms on lower lobes of lungs, shoulders down, and as you zip up pelvic floor and scoop out your abdominals right now, breathing through the nose, I'm overemphasizing this for you, and exhaling through pursed lips. Now again, as you can see, this is happening. Come, breathing through the nose, exhaling through pursed lips. This is actually happening. Fingers are moving like seaweed on the bottom of the seabed, even if it's just a micro movement or a millimeter, that's happening. Breathing in and exhaling through pursed lips. Lovely. Now as you do that, safe in the knowledge that's helping you breathe into them lower lobes of lungs. You can take the hands away, safe in the knowledge that's happening, because as you zip up pelvic floor and scoop out your abdominals, there's nowhere else for the breath to go apart from into them lower lobes of lungs. So that will be happening as you breathe in 3D style, organ deep, cell deep, even bone marrow deep, into these lower lobes of lungs, 3D style, into these fish gills wide and full, as though someone's opening an umbrella inside your rib cage and letting go, or someone's just pushing out from inside your ribs and letting go. Just adding width to the lungs and length to the out breath. That lovely, free, expansive breath. Just coming organ deep, cell deep, even bone marrow deep, into them lower lobes of lungs, the intercostals, the ribs, anywhere but the stomach. Okay, it's what we call lateral thoracic breathing. It helps us use the pelvic floor and the corset in the most efficient manner, helping us breathe anywhere but the belly button, helping us breathe into these lower lobes of lungs, the intercostals, the ribs, anywhere but the stomach. Lovely. So with that, we're going to just go down a more yogic path. As you throw in that corset still, that transverse abdominis, the corset muscle, engage that pelvic floor still, we're going to change it. We're going to breathe in and out through the nose. As we close the mouth now, we go down a slightly more yogic path with that. And that smaller filter for the nose will help us lengthen the breath even longer. Because it's a smaller filter for the breath, that helps us lengthen the breath even longer. Especially that lovely elongated out breath, which is longer than the in-breath. Okay, the whole will cycle of the breath will be lengthened as you close the mouth. For that smaller filter through the nose, more cleansing, or one of the types of yoga breath. So it goes down more that path. Lovely. Now you will naturally feel the out breath want to fall longer than the in-breath. So just simply allow that to happen without even trying, or try not to try. Allow that to happen. And as you allow that to happen, you will naturally feel yourself want to come consciously to that out breath as you still zip up pelvic floor, scoop out your abdominals, breathing in and out from the nose. As you come consciously to that out breath, consciously take your mind to that out breath and elongate that out breath. Quadruple it, double it, triple it in a hypnotic manner there. We elongate that out breath within your limits without force anything. And as you elongate the out breath longer than the in breath, rather than the breath breathe you, you breathe the breath, that out breath. you will feel all the parasympathetic nervous system responses and benefits from that. Because as you elongate the out breath right now, as you're zipping up pelvic floor, scooping out your abdominals, in and out through the nose, that will encourage the parasympathetic nervous system to be benefited. Sleep, digestion, rest, and relaxation will be benefited by elongating the out breath longer than the in breath. The in breath's conscious thought, the out breath is subconscious thought. So by extending the out breath longer than the in breath, we're just encouraging all the things you don't think about: cellular communication, organ function, process elimination, assimilation, all that sort of health and renewals being benefited by simply allowing that simplicity to relax the mind and elongate the out breath. I think a lot of the yogic postures, that'll also help you melt into them postures as asanas, as with these motions. Lovely. Again, your count might be 7 in, 10 or 11 out. Not that we're counting. Again, everyone's will be different. Okay, just make the out breath longer than the in breath. Allow that simplicity to relax the mind. So again, we've got a few different mixtures in the breath there. Now you can stick with that breathing. If you want to make it slightly more yogically more advanced for the ujjayi breath, then great. If you can't get it, don't worry. Just carry on breathing like we are now. Otherwise, you want to take it on a little bit further. You grip at your esophagus, okay? And for ujjayi breath, you make this sound. So again, you breathe in through the nose. And you get this raspy, silky, whistling breath from the back of the throat, and you exhale. That lovely sighing, whistling, silky breath, ujjayi breath, victorious breath in Sanskrit. If you can't get that, don't worry. If you're getting it, then that's going to help stimulate the thyroid gland, which helps with weight control, etc. Helps you build the heat from the body, helps you fan the fire to burn all the toxins in the body. Ujjayi breath, victorious breath. And as you're doing that, keep them shoulders down. That sighing breath will help you focus even more. It's a natural focusing breath that we're overemphasizing from everyday life. Okay? And as you feel the sound of the breath, the feel of the breath, it weaves that tapestry of relaxation. Every single organ, cell, sinew of the body, an inch of tissue. Just feel them restful relaxation responses and endless streams of comfort. It's all the housekeeping properties of the body. It's all the things you don't think about being benefited in a massive way. Lovely. But again, ujjayi breath or not, optional. We're going to link this in vinyasa, breath synchronized motion. Lovely. So we're on number 7. So punching with an angry gaze, this one's called, or the charging fist. Nice simple motion. It's basically a punch like a karate kata stance. So again, there's a few adaptations. Zip up pelvic floor, scoop out your abdominals. We'll start with the upper body. Again, feet hip width apart. And all you're doing is exhaling out. The base of the cranium is nice and still. It's just the levers moving. Remember, you've got hands supinated with the shoulders down. And then they're going to pronate. They're going to come out. At the end, you're going to get that complete turn here. Into here, these 2 knuckles in here. Breathing in, coming back. But we're going to elongate the out breath on this part. Exhaling out there. Again, if you finish before the breath finishes, if you can match it, great. Then just carry on with the exhale, with that stillness. And then breathing, come back a little bit sharper. That's a nice, simple motion. Again, it's meant to be simple. If you want to go deeper, as with all these qigong or qigong, whatever you want to call it, sequences or body systems, you only go as deep as you like. Remember, it's your union of your mind and body. So if you want to go in deep, spread the legs, come down deeper. I would go no deeper than knees and arm and toes, especially if you've got any knee problems. I'm sticking to the Iyengar yoga principles of alignment and modification. But again, don't get too caught up that. Some people will allow the knees to go past the toes, but we're just sticking to complete safety. So same deal again, exhaling down. We'll go back and get the legs in a minute. Breathing in, coming back. Lengthen up for the crowns. If you've got a puppet string, a hook, a brace on your head, putting your head up towards the ceiling. Imagine it's a puppet string, putting your head up towards the ceiling. Exhaling down. Breathing in, coming back up. I'll go no lower than knees in line with toes. It can be a centimetre, a millimetre, or an inch. Or you can just stay down there, you know, or stay up here. See what suits you. Again, I don't like them being completely set. You know what I mean? They can be slightly adapted to your body. Movement's your movement, your union of your mind and body. It's going to come back again from here. Feet like Charlie Chaplin, they're facing the front. Again, you can have the sort of horse riding stance slightly out like that. See what suits you in a slight V. Do not completely out like that. Again, exhaling down, nice and long on that breath. Breathing in, coming back. Shoulders down, exhaling down. Breathing in, coming up, pushing up from the heels. These are organic. Be nice and long here. Soft on the elbows, just shy of locking out. Breathing in, coming back. Again, it's up. Again, I've seen some here as well, coming across this way and coming back. Again, so again, if you want to do that, you just have a little turn here, and it's exhale. Breathing, come back. You root yourself in this leg, you have a little turn. Don't overemphasize this so much. You're sort of coming around here and you're sort of jamming on this lead leg. You're just exhaling here. Breathing, coming back. Exhale. Breathing, coming back. But again, you know, just be variable in the movement. Again, with these, we're not going to additional forms, so we don't have to be so specific. So again, just play with the movement, see what suits you. If it feels good to you, if you've got any real bad ailments, or whatever, just be really safe with it. You can always move on and progress. But again, even just zipping up, scooping out your abdominals, benefiting the spine. If you've got any really bad posture problems, again, microseconds before you even move your arm or your leg. The pelvic floor and the corset fine, microseconds for anything else. So try and fire it in the right way, in towards the spine, navel towards the spine. Not that you're always going to do that. You know, in everyday life, you might need to pick up something. But again, generally about 30% is where we're most efficient at zipping up pelvic floor, scooping out abdominals. You think about 100% pulling in, it's about a quarter of that. You know, you won't be sort of all the time gathering in. But again, I digress there. But 30% is where you're most efficient at stabilising the spine. Obviously, that'll vary. If you're going to really pick up something heavy, gather in, zip up, scoop out your abdominals, throw on that corset properly. And that's the idea of all these body systems. Take them into everyday life. It could be walking, gardening, driving, whatever it is. Take it into everyday life. That awareness. Lovely. So you got the next one, the last one, shake the back of the 8 blockades coming up. Again in his 35 form, bang.